It's time now for the Muletrain News Program on this Wednesday, September the 25th, 2024. Brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. A celebration of life service for David Richard Luna, 77 of Argyle, was held last Monday, September the 23rd at the Ellis Funeral Home Chapel here in Muleshoe with the Reverend Ed Huey of Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the Reverend Barry Tilley of Lubbock officiating. Burial followed in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. David died Monday, September the 26th in Flower Mound, Texas. He was born December the 9th, 1946, in Waxahachie to Reverend R.V. and Lorraine Stewart Luna. As the son of an Assembly of God minister, David and his family lived in many special Texas communities, including Andrews and Muleshoe. David graduated from Andrews High School in 1965 and was introduced by family and friends to Patsy Myers of Muleshoe. David and Patsy were married in Muleshoe on June the 30th, 1967, and recently celebrated 57 years of blessed marriage. David Luna graduated from Texas Tech University in 1971. He worked for Procter & Gamble for 32 years as an account executive. He loved the mountains of Colorado, traveling in the family motorhome, and was a Jeep enthusiast. David had a talent for woodworking from an early age and built many things for his family and friends. David enjoyed playing guitar and listening to live music of any genre. He also had an inquisitive mind and always wanted to learn more about any topic. David loved spending time with his family. He was a devout believer in being a servant for Jesus Christ and taught his family to love by example. He was intentional in helping others see their worth and always offered a helping hand. David is preceded in death by his parents and a sister, Bonnie Thomas. David is survived by his wife, Patsy, two sons, Brent Luna and his wife, Dana of Grand Prairie, Brandon Luna and his wife, Chandra of Lantana, Texas, and a daughter, Jill Morris, and her husband, Josh of Muleshoe. He is survived by 10 grandchildren, Jillian, Bethany, Mallory Luna, Keegan, Gavin, Logan, and Katie Luna, Jesse, Charlie, and Bandera Morris. In lieu of flowers, donations can be sent to the Created with Purpose of West Texas, a pregnancy care center in Bovina, P.O. Box 190, Bovina, Texas 79009, or on their website at www.give-to-cwpwtx.com. And please keep the family of David Richard Luna on your prayer list today. Again, his funeral memorial service was held earlier this week on Monday, September the 23rd, and was buried in the Muleshoe Memorial Park Cemetery. Keep the family of David Luna on your prayer list today. Keith L. Hawkins of Carlsbad, New Mexico, formerly of Muleshoe, died on Sunday, September the 15th in Lubbock. Memorial services were held Saturday, September the 21st at the Muleshoe Fellowship, with Josh Bartlett and Smokey Thorpe officiating and under the care of Ramage Funeral Directors in Olton. Keith was born December the 14th, 1960 in Muleshoe to Eugene and Rita Turner Hawkins. He was raised in Muleshoe by his two loving parents alongside his sisters. Keith graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1979. After high school, he went on to have 3 daughters that he adored. He raised them with a love of food, travel, and people. On June 24th, he married Jessie Holmes in 2017. Keith and Jessie moved to Carlsbad from Farwell, where he worked as the facility maintenance manager for Cowperwood Company. Keith had a sweet spirit, a contagious laugh that would sometimes last for hours, and the remarkable ability to make others feel accepted, seen, and loved. He was very proud Papa Hawk, who loved his grandkids more than anything. He made sure they knew that Papa Hawk was their biggest fan and greatest supporter. He often drove hours to attend their events so he could watch them do what they loved. Keith was a member of the Carlsbad Elks Club. He loved to play golf and listen to music, was a loyal fan of Texas Tech and the Dallas Cowboys. He was also a collector, whether it be arrowheads, experiences, or knowledge. He enjoyed gathering the best and sharing them with everyone he cared about. Gone too soon, Keith will be missed by all who knew him. Keith was preceded in death by his father, Eugene Peanut Hawkins. He was survived by his wife, Jessie Hawkins of Carlsbad, his mother, Rita Hawkins of Muleshoe, a mother-in-law, Joyce Carpando of Piedmont, Oklahoma, 3 daughters, Jody Posadas and her husband, Eric of Round Rock, Mitzi Bartlett and her husband, Josh of Midland, Chelsea Allen and her husband, Chris of Olton, 2 sisters, Shelley Carpenter and her husband, Curtis of Poteet, Charlie Bruner and her husband Jim of Hollywood Park, a brother-in-law, Bryce Holmes of Piedmont, Oklahoma, 2 sister-in-laws, Jackie Ledgerwood of Yuma, Arizona, and Joy Martin of Indianapolis, Indiana. He was blessed with 6 grandchildren, Brooks Bartlett, Pate Allen, Georgia Bartlett, Maggie Allen, Noah Posadas, and Luca Posadas. He is also survived by nieces and nephews, Jessica Nichols and her husband Landon, Jamie Sanders and her husband Rowdy, Tara Baxter and husband Brandon, Colby Carpenter, Chase Bruner and his wife Alyssa, and several great nieces and nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins. The family suggests memorials to be sent to the Shriners Children Hospital. Attention, Shriners Children's, P.O. Box 947765, Atlanta, Georgia 30394. Please keep the family of Keith Hawkins on your prayer list today. Well, last Friday night, the Mules were on the road in a very, very long away game over at Canadian. I don't think I'd never been to Canadian, but I don't think the Mules have ever played Canadian in football. So it was a first matchup between the Muleshoe Mules and the Canadian Wildcats. And it was a heck of a game, but an extremely heartbreaking loss as the Mules played their hearts out, led for 3 quarters, and right at the very first of the fourth quarter, surrendered the lead, made a couple of mistakes, surrendered the lead to Canadian, and then picked right back up, kept going and doing well, but never could catch up as the Mules lost 67-74 last Friday night at Wildcat Stadium, way up in the northeast corner of the Panhandle at Canadian. I have some stats here, and the Mules ran a total of 70 plays for 614 total yards. The Wildcats ran 96 plays for 746 yards. The Mules had 456 passing yards, 158 yards on the ground. The Wildcats were the polar opposite, as they had 171 passing yards and 575 yards on the ground. The Mules made 21 first downs. They were 8 of 14 in third down efficiency for 57%, and 2 of 2, 100%, in fourth down efficiency. They had 3 turnovers, 1 fumble, and 2 interceptions. They were penalized 7 times for 47 yards. The Canadian Wildcats had 3 turnovers, 3 fumbles, no interceptions, and were penalized 11 times for 93 yards. Nathan Martins, the starting quarterback, wearing number 2, was 19 of 34 in the air for 456 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His longest pass was 71 yards. So an extremely impressive night for Nathan Martins. Again, 456 yards he threw through the air for 4 touchdowns. On the ground, the Mules were good as well. Josue Segala led the way, number 10, with 20 runs for 111 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was 28 yards. Arias, number 9, had 7 runs for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. His long was 11. And Nathan Martins ran 3 times, the quarterback, for 18 yards, and his longest was 8 yards. In the receiving department, the Mules, Herrera, number 3, had 10 receptions for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was 71. Yahir Kazada, number 1, had 3 receptions for 87 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest was 63 yards. Ryan Dominguez, number 4, had 3 receptions for 50 yards, and his longest was 22 yards. And Josue Segala, number 10, had 3 receptions for 31 yards. His longest was 12. On defense, some of the leading tacklers will give them to you. Segala had 10 tackles, 3 assists, and 1 tackle for loss, number 10. Number 55, Mendoza, had 8 tackles, 4 assists, and 1 tackle for loss. Quezada, number 1, had 7 tackles and 3 assists. Burris had 7 tackles and 1 assist, number 12. Herrera, number 3, had 6 tackles, along with Dominguez and Sanchez, number 4 and number 7, all had 6 tackles and numerous assists. And so the Mules, again, lost on the road way up in the Panhandle this last Friday night, 67-74. You can see that game in its entirety on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com. We're so sorry our voice of the Muleshoe Mules, Elliot Davis, did not make that game as he had an emergency come up Thursday evening. And keep him, Elliot, on your prayer list today. Hopefully Elliot will be back with us for our live stream this coming Friday night versus Clyde for our homecoming game. Well, tomorrow we will kick off all the festivities for homecoming weekend as the JV Mules will be on the road. They'll play at a neutral site. Luckily, they won't have to go all the way to Clyde, as they will kick off at 5 p.m. at Post versus the Clyde Bulldogs. So go out and support the JV Mules. Again, 5 p.m. they'll be in action versus Clyde at Post, Texas, just south of Lubbock. So glad they don't have to go all the way to Clyde. You know, Clyde is out there on I-20 east of Abilene. So this is as big a road game for Clyde as our last Friday night game was up in Canadian. Watson Junior High will not be playing Clyde. They will play Bushland, the junior high teams, here in Muleshoe at Benny Douglas Football Stadium tomorrow, Thursday, September 26th. They kick off at 5 p.m. Then, of course, we will have all of the big homecoming celebration that will start Thursday evening at dark. Is set for the driving range at the Country Club on the golf course. The bonfire will be there, and of course they shoot off some fireworks at the end of the bonfire. Then the MHS Pep Rally for homecoming will be Friday afternoon at the Muleshoe High School gym at 2:25 p.m. We'll be there to film that homecoming pep rally. And then the coronation, the game will begin at 7 p.m. They will kick off. We'll live stream start at 6:50. The kickoff will be at 7 p.m. and then the coronation of the homecoming queen will be at halftime after both bands perform there. And you can go to the front page of our website now, muleshoetv.com. We have our Meet Your Neighbor program. Brought to you by United Supermarkets. Then the introduction of all 6 of the 2024 MHS Homecoming Queen candidates: Lauren Ely, Dana Ramirez, Megan Moran, Marley Ronquillo, Vita Mora, and Jadacy Oliveris. They introduce themselves, tell about their parents, their classification, who will escort them. They'll have a player escort them or a sibling at the homecoming pep rally, and then their fathers will escort them Friday night at halftime at Benny Douglas Football Stadium. Of course, we'll live stream all of those events going on live at muleshoetv.com. Make sure to eat for the homecoming pregame meal on Friday, September 27th, starting at 4:30 until 6 p.m. Dine in or carry out. They'll have a delicious nacho pylon at the MHS Commons area with chips, meat, beans, rice, toppings, dessert, and drink for $10. Dine in or carry out 4:30 until 6 p.m. at the MHS Commons area. It's sponsored by the Muleshoe High School class of 2028. That's the MHS homecoming pregame meal, September the 27th. That's this Friday for the Muleshoe, before the Muleshoe versus Clyde game. Nacho pylon, $10. Dine in or carry out, 4:30 until 6 p.m. at the MHS Commons area. Sponsored by the MHS class of 2028. Well, if you can't make it live to the game, you can join us for our live stream with our voice of the Muleshoe Mules, Elliott Davis. For homecoming, we will kick off at 6:50 with the pregame Friday night from Benny Douglas Football Stadium. Brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Mohawk Auto Parts, Muleshoe ISD, McDonald's Restaurant, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Edward Jones Stephen Dement, Dell Oil Company, McCormick Seed, Bammert Seed, and High Tech Automotive. Our live stream internet provided by 5 Area Connect. That will be live Friday night beginning at 6:50 p.m. Of course, we'll show you the whole game along with all of the activities at halftime, both bands marching and then the homecoming queen coronation. Well, the Mules sit now at 3-1 on the 2024 season, as they are in 3A Division II. Of course, we're still in the pre-district part of our schedule. The Clyde Bulldogs come from 3A Division I. They are 2-2 on the 2024 season. They won in overtime in their first game of the season, 43-42 over Cisco in overtime. They lost to Eastland in their second game, 35-14. They lost to Shallow Water in Game 3, 54-21. And then last week, they beat Snyder 46-13. And so look for that big matchup between the 3-1 Mules and the 2-2 Clyde Bulldogs this coming Friday night. And other scores from last week, week 4, on the Mules schedule: Brownfield lost to Levelland 0-38. Lamesa beat Dimmitt 48-26. New Home beat Denver City 63-6. That brings New Home to 2-2. Boy, New Home's quite a good 2-2 team for sure. The Mules dropped a heartbreaker to Canadian, as we mentioned before, 67-74. That makes both the Mules and the Canadian Wildcats 3-1 on the season. Clyde, as we just mentioned, beat Snyder 46-13. Clyde's 2-2. Dalhart is 3-1 as they beat Freona 36-0. Roosevelt beat Stanton 36-14. That brings them to 3-1. Littlefield beat Morton 60-14. That brings Littlefield to 3-1. Slayton lost to Post 27-20. That puts Slayton at 3-1. And then Idalou, the only undefeated team on our schedule, beat Compass Academy Charter 63-0. Idalou Wildcats are 4-0 on the season. Lots of 3-1 teams left on the schedule. And then, of course, Idalou at 4-0 so far in 2024. Well, everyone is welcome to a very unique event that will take place at the Muleshoe Heritage Center on the west edge of Muleshoe on the north side of American Boulevard at the Heritage Center there. A night keeping legends of Muleshoe alive. It's called Muletrain. Join us for a trip down memory lane with food, history, reenactments, music, wagon rides, and much, much more. That's this Saturday, September the 28th, 6 until 8 p.m. at the Muleshoe Heritage Center. It's $5 for admission. Everyone is welcome to come out to this unique event, a night keeping the legends of Muleshoe alive. A trip down memory lane with food, history, reenactments, music, wagon rides, and much, much more at the Muleshoe Heritage Center. 6 until 8 p.m. this Saturday, September the 28th. $5 for admission. Everyone is welcome to come out to this unique event this coming Saturday. This edition of the Muletrain News is brought to you today by Liel's Mexican Restaurant. And the original Liel's is right here in Muleshoe at 1010 West American Boulevard. Don't forget, they are now open again on Sundays, 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. They're at 1010 West American Boulevard. Go to church and then continue the tradition of going to eat out at Leal's. They're open 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. every Sunday at Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard. And don't forget, nothing in the fridge. They deliver now at the original Leal's here in Muleshoe right to your home or office here in the Muleshoe area. Call them 806-272-3294. The original Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard. The Muleshoe Area Hospital District is pleased to welcome the addition of Dr. David Warner to their staff at the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe. Dr. Warner arrives in Muleshoe after residing in Euless, a suburb of DFW. He has deep West Texas roots with BS, MS, and MD degrees from Texas Tech University. He's also lived in Big Spring, El Paso, and, of course, Lubbock as well. If you would like to make an appointment with Dr. David Warner, who's in practice now at the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, you can call and make an appointment, 806-272-7544. They're located at 701 South First Street. Dr. David Warner now in practice at the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, and we are pleased to welcome Dr. Warner to Muleshoe. Call and make an appointment, 806-272-7544, or go by 701 South First Street, the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe. Well, we're officially in fall now, and it is time now for the weather forecast. If you would like to sponsor our weather forecast, give me a call, text, leave a voicemail on my cell phone, 806-566-5881. We need a sponsor of this weather program. Well, we have been blessed not only just by being in fall on the calendar, but feeling like it's fall here in the Muleshoe area. Beautiful fall-like days, as we have dipped down into the 40s for our low 2 or 3 times so far in September. But our average high here at the National Weather Service station in our backyard at Channel 6 in Muleshoe, our average high in September has been 86 degrees. Boy, we'll take that. Average low has been 56. But as I mentioned, we've been down into the upper 40s 2 or 3 times. We have 2 inches and 67/100 so far through September. And we will take that, as the last several days have been very, very wet. In fact, last week was the vast majority of that rain here in our backyard, as we got around 2.5 inches of rain between Saturday. We got several rains Saturday for a total of 1 inch and 57 over the weekend. And then Tuesday, September the 17th, we got 1 inch and 4/100ths. So tons and tons of rain here last week in Muleshoe. Of course, on Saturday, as the day went on, there was some extremely wet weather and some dangerous weather to the north of town, as there were several tornadoes reported and on radar as well. We know some places around Clay's Corner in that vicinity got 4 and 5 inches of rain Saturday. And Bailey County Electric spent lots and lots of time out repairing down lines and such on Saturday through the evening and overnight hours into Sunday. And thanks to them for their vigilant work on keeping everyone safe and powered. But like I said, 4 to 5 inches just north of Muleshoe on Saturday, along with an obvious hook radar with tornadic tornadoes that were in that vicinity as well. So far in September, as I said, we have 2 inches and 67/100ths here in our backyard. at 1011 West 3rd. The Muleshoe Mesonet Station, 2 miles south of town, has 2 inches and 28 100ths. The Earth Mesonet has 2 inches and 64 100ths, and then that's right next to Tolk Plant. The Morton Mesonet Station only has 26 100ths of an inch during the month of September so far, so we have been very lucky to not be that dry in the month of September. Amherst only has 47 100ths in the month of September. Freona Mesonet has an inch and 13 100ths. Year to date so far, the Muleshoe Mesonet has 13 inches and 65 100ths. The Earth Mesonet, 15 inches and 82 100ths. The Morton Mesonet, 12 inches and 6 100ths. Amherst, 11 inches and 94 100ths. And the Freona Mesonet, 12 inches and 44 100ths so far in 2024. Looking at our weather forecast for the Muleshoe area. Sunny, high near 83 today on Wednesday. North-northwest winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming calm as the afternoon goes on. Right now, right at noon, it is 74 degrees outside our broadcast studios here in Muleshoe. Clear tonight, low around 48, so we'll dip down into the upper 40s again possibly tonight. East-northeast winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming south-southwest after midnight. Sunny on Thursday, high near 88. West-southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Then clear Thursday night, low around 51. Southeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Friday, for homecoming, sunny, high near 88 degrees. Again, boy, we'll take this. It's going to be gorgeous. Light and variable winds becoming northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour Friday afternoon. Clear Friday night, low around 53. East-northeast winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming light and variable Friday evening. Saturday, kicking off the weekend, sunny, again, high only at 88 degrees. Northwest winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northeast in the afternoon hours. Clear Saturday night, low around 51. Northeast winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny, high near 86 degrees. Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear Sunday night, low around 52. Sunny on Monday, high at 90 degrees. Clear Monday night, low around 54. Then sunny for Tuesday, the first day of October, high near 81. So a nice fall forecast. No rain in the next 7 days in the forecast, but who knows? That can always change, so stay tuned. But some really nice, cooler fall weather. Well, you're running out of time to get your raffle ticket for Ruby Green's quilt that will be raffled off this coming Saturday at the Muleshoe Senior Center. Go by Main and Avenue D, the Senior Center. It's $5 per ticket or $5 for $20, and they will draw on Saturday morning, Saturday, September the 28th, at their pancake breakfast, which everyone is welcome to come to. It's $12 per person. Again, the Saturday, September 28th at the Muleshoe Senior Center, 319 Main Street, or on the corner of Main and Avenue D. Come and join our party. They'll have bacon, pancakes, and eggs and sausage 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. They'll take credit cards, cash, or checks accepted for this big fundraiser. And don't forget, they will draw for the Ruby Green's quilt, which you still have time to get your tickets for now at the Senior Center. But everyone's welcome to that pancake breakfast this Saturday, September 28th, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Main and Avenue D, the Senior Center here in Muleshoe. Well, on the menu, they serve lunch there every day, beginning around 11:30 a.m. at the Senior Center, Main and Avenue D. On Thursday, September the 26th, they'll be serving homemade turkey, pot pie, whole wheat roll, margarine, seasoned corn, tossed vegetable salad with dressing, ambrosia. Then on Friday, September 27th, they'll be serving their normal fish or chicken strip meal. On Monday, the last day of September, September 30th, creamy mushroom steak, mashed potatoes, peas and carrots, whole wheat roll, margarine, and emerald pears. Well, on your prayer list today, please remember Cliff Black, Peggy Seagroves, Terry Byers, Darlene Henry, Albert Lee, Terry Obenhouse, Bill Lyles. Also keep Marlene McDonald on your prayer list, Linda Lutz, Janice Snell, Jesse Tarango, Kathy Richards, Gary Shipman, John Blackwell, Tyrone Clements, Dick Chitwood, Robert Johnson, Sammy Gonzalez, Suzanne Nichols, Gabby Stone, Wanda Schaefer, Berta and Larry Combs, Ed and Carol Cox, Betty Noble, Joe Jinks, Deborah Noble, Dorothy Wire, Tom and Linda Watson, Melba King needs to be on your prayer list today. Also remember the families of those grieving the recent loss of a loved one, including the family of David Luna, the family of Keith Hawkins, the family of Zaylee Bree Ellie Cortez, the family of Panchito Garcia, the family of Pete Fulcher needs to be on your prayer list, along with the family of Christian Ramos. Well, it's just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest Muletrain News program, along with all of our older archived ones for the last decade, available free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the page.
This is Tumbleweed Smith. We'll hear from a collector of classic cars in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They are owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at BCECOOP.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle, all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
I enjoy doing patchwork. I enjoy tearing apart and putting together. Very few people have new old cars.
Butch Cooley married a girl whose father owned a Chevrolet dealership in Harlingen.
It's called Knapp Chevrolet. It was started in 1934. There was 5 brothers. Each one of them had a Chevrolet dealership, and they were all partners in each other's dealership. We had 4 here in the Valley and 1 in Houston.
Butch worked at the dealership 40 years. He retired in 2007, but still plays with cars. He can rebuild an engine.
Oh, yeah. We just got through putting an engine in a 66 Suburban we're working on.
He has 25 cars, all made by General Motors.
All of them are Chevrolets, except we've got one 59 Cadillac.
He has his favorites.
My 57 convertible, and I have a 61 Impala two-door hardtop, 63 Impala Super Sport convertible.
His cars are all drivable. Occasionally, he'll let some fundraising group display some of his cars. He says people collect cars for all sorts of reasons.
The reason I collect them is it's something that I really wanted when I was in high school. We had an Air Force base here in the early 50s, and the Air Force base, of course, brought young officers that had Corvettes and convertibles of all sorts and hardtops of all sorts and hot rods and everything else. And so just always wanted those kind of cars. I always wanted a 57 Chevrolet whenever I was younger. 57 has been always my dream. And I do have a 57 convertible now.
7 of his vehicles are Corvettes. He says the cars are good investments. His 57 Chevy convertible is an example.
It was about $2,500, and now they're about $65,000, you know. They're really cool. They're really a lot of fun to have. It's amazing to look back and see what those cars sold for new. And right now, at today's dollar, you think, man, what an idiot I was to get rid of that car. And why didn't I buy 50 new ones at that time? Of course, back then, $3,500 was a lot of money. A lot of the cars, I have reproduction window stickers made for them with all the options on them and everything. And people say, well, I'll buy it for that. Yeah, well, that's for a ride around the block.
Butch Cooley of Harlingen takes good care of his cars. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.